Okay, for today's lesson, we need a sheet that says determining the number of solutions. So, so far we've done a lot of work with multi-step equations, and we've seen answers on our papers that we really haven't addressed yet. And some of those answers include this: no solution. Another answer includes all real numbers. So today we're going to talk about situations where these possible answers pop up. Okay, so let's look at number one. Number one, I see left side, there's nothing to do. I'm just going to bring down -6 equals right side. I got to distribute that 2 in. So 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times -8x is -16x. And then come over here with this 4. This 4 needs to be distributed. So I've got 4 times 7 is 28. And 4 times 4 is 16x. Okay, I'm going to combine like terms now. So I see the left side, I just bring that down. Look for my variables first. I have a -16x and I have a plus 16x. Well, if I bring those together, those two are going to cancel themselves out. And then I'm going to look at my constants. -2 plus 28, that gives you 26. So when you get down to this part and you have no variable left, it's a different situation because you need to ask yourself, is this a true statement? Does -6 equal 26? And we say, no, that's not true. Those two are not equal. And if it's not a true statement, all your variables have eliminated. This means no solution. So we would say it's a no solution answer. Also, it can be written like this. If you don't want to write out no solution, you just put that circle with it, the slash through it. It means no solution. Okay, again, that's when the variables eliminate. You look at what's left, and the left side does not equal the right side. No solution. Okay, number 2. So we're going to distribute this 2 in first. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times -3 is -6n. Come over here. -6 times 4 is -24. -6 times -6n, well, that's positive 36n equals -80. Okay, combine like terms. Go for my variables first. -6n plus 36, that leaves you with 30n. And then here I have 4 minus 24. Those two pieces, that's going to be a -20 equals -80. So now I would add 20 to both sides, just like I would normally. Cancels. So 30n is equal to -60. And last, I would divide everything by 30. So we do have a variable remaining. We have our 1n, because 30 divided by 30 is 1. And then we have an answer. So this is just a case where it's just a normal equation. We get a normal answer like we've done before. Our answer is -2. Okay, so you're going to have problems where it's going to be possibly a no solution. Possibly it's just an answer, like a normal answer. And then we have this other one called all real numbers. And we're going to see that example coming up next. So number 3, we have -104 equals, and then I'm going to distribute. So -8 times 3a is -24a. -8 times 5 is -40. And then I'll do the same thing back here. -8 times -3 is positive 24a. And -8 times 8 is -64. Okay, so I bring down the -104 on that side. Push equals. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. So these two come together, they're opposites, which means they're going to cancel themselves out. And then I have these two pieces, -40 and a -64. It comes together, -104. So again, when all your variables eliminate, it's a special circumstance, and you take a look at it and see, is that a true statement? And this is a true statement. -104 does equal -104. So we then say that's all real numbers. Okay, now what's the difference between this answer and this answer? For no solution, there's no number that I can pick for x and plug in to make the left side equals the right side. There's no number out there. Not a single one will work. But with all real numbers, any number you pick, you can pick a positive, you can pick a negative, you can pick fractions, you can pick decimals. It doesn't matter what you pick. Whatever number you pick to plug in for this variable a, it's always going to make the left side equal the right side. So that's why it's called all real numbers. Now, you will also see it written like this sometimes. Infinitely many solutions. Okay, that means all real numbers as well. Okay, that means you can pick whatever number. There's an infinite amount of solutions. There's no end to what number you can pick. All right, now if you don't want to write those out, there's also a fancy way to write it. And it's kind of looks like a big fancy cursive R like this. Okay, so if you put this like big kind of fancy cursive R, that also means all real numbers. Okay, so either one of those three answers would be okay to put for this. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4, distribute negative 8 times n. So we get negative 8n. Negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. And then we have this negative sit in front of that parentheses. So when that happens, I always drop a 1 there, so I know I'm distributing a negative 1 inside that parentheses. So negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times a negative 8n is positive 8n equals negative 27. Okay, so now I'm going to combine like terms. I see negative 8n, positive 8n. Well, those are going to cancel themselves out. So we got a special situation here. Negative 24 and negative 3 comes together. That's negative 27. Bring down the right side. That does equal negative 27. So yes, that's a true statement. So again, that's going to mean all real numbers. I'm just going to write this out. Big fancy cursive R. That means all real numbers. Okay, let's do number 5. So number 5, distribute negative 6. So we get negative 6 plus, or technically just a minus 6v equals negative 16 plus 4v. So I'm going to move my variable to the other side. I'm going to subtract 4v. Come over here, subtract 4v. That cancels out. Negative 6v, negative 4v, that's negative 10v. I'm going to bring down this negative 6 equals negative 16. All right, then I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And why did I put 16? Hold up, I'm confused. Okay, add 6, not 16. Cancels. Negative 10v equals negative 16 plus 6 is negative 10. Divide everything by negative 10. And you get an answer of v is equal to 1. So I have an answer. It's just a normal equation. Number 6. So this 8x is not being distributed. It's actually this negative 8 that's going in. So this 8x just comes down. Then I have negative 8 times 5x is negative 40x. Negative 8 times negative 5 is positive 40. So I have equals 40 plus 4x. Okay, before I do anything, I'm going to combine like terms here. So I see 8x take away 40x. That's negative 32x plus 40 equals 40 plus 4x. Okay, I'm going to subtract 4x now to move it to the other side. That cancels out. And we get negative 36x. I have plus 40 equals 40. So I would subtract 40 to both sides. That cancels. So coming over here, I now have negative 36x equals 40 take away 40 is 0. All right, I'm going to divide everything by a negative 36. And if I take 0 divided by any number, you're going to get 0. Now be careful. A lot of times, situations like this, they get an answer of 0. Kids think that's no solution. But no, 0 is a number. And 0 is the only number I can plug into this equation to make the left side equal the right side. So that's my answer. It's not no solution. It's not infinitely many solutions or all real numbers. It's just x equals 0. Okay, number 7. Let's distribute that negative 2n. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. And Then I bring down the plus 5x equals negative 9 plus 3x on the right side. So before I start solving any further, I'm going to combine like terms on the same side. So those two come together and give you 3x. Then I bring down minus 10 equals negative 9 plus 3x. Okay, I'm going to subtract this 3x to move it to the other side. That cancels. What happens over here, it cancels out as well. So I'm just left with negative 10 equals negative 9. Okay, special situation, no variables remain. Look at that. That is not a true statement. So I'll put that, that's not equal. So therefore, it's no solution. That's my final answer. Okay, one more together. Number 8. Take the negative 6, distribute it in. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Then I get minus 24 equals negative 6x minus 31. Okay, I'm going to add 6x to both sides. That cancels. So over here, it also cancels. And I'm left with negative 24 equals negative 31. If you check that out, you see that's not a true statement. So I'll put, nope, does not equal. Therefore, that's again a no solution. Okay, you guys go ahead and do number 9, number 10, number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18.